the interactions among different activities are described in from different perspectives. For the with use case or sequence diagram, today we will study the activity models. It is the third kind of interactions. It is different with the use case and sequence diagram. For the activity models, it shows a sequence of steps that make up a complex process, such as an algorithm or workflow. It means the activity diagram is usually used in the early stage of designing algorithms or workflows, and it shows the flow of control is similar to a sequence diagram, but focus on operations rather than on objects. It means that in the sequence diagram, we have different objects. It means different actors and the system itself, and we we show we draw the different messages transferred among different objects, and the vertical line is the timeline, and the sequence of messages are transferred between different objects. So it means it mainly focuses on objects, but in the activity diagram we mainly focus on operations without the concept of objects. So it means that in an activity diagram there may be many or only one object. For example, sometimes one activity diagram is to show the algorithm or show how to implement an operation of one object. Maybe it also used to show the flow of control among different objects to implement a complex business logic or a complex algorithm or workflow. So it means that in the activity diagram, we don't focus on which objects execute the operation. We only focus which kind of operations should be performed, and what is the sequence of these operations to construct or to compose the whole algorithm or workflow. For example, this is the processing of a stock trade order that has been received by an online stockbroker. So in this diagram, we can see that the elongated ovals show activities, and the arrows show their sequencing. The diamond shows a decision point, and a heavy bar shows splitting or merging of concurrent threads. In this activity diagram, we first from the solid circle, it is the beginning, and then go to the first activity. It is the verify order, and against it means we need first verify the order against the customer's account. Then after the completion of the first activity, it will goes to the next activity directly. It means go to the execute order. And an activity diagram is like a traditional flowchart in that it shows the flow of control from step to step, but it is unlike with the traditional flowchart because an activity diagram can show both sequential and concurrent flow of control. But in the traditional flowchart, it cannot represent the concurrent flow. And an activity diagram are often used for modeling human organizations because they involve many objects, persons, and organization unit that perform operations concurrently. So it means the concurrency is very important to activity diagram. And for example, in the left activity diagram, and the heavy bar means the splitting of several concurrent activities. It means the send confirmation, debit account, update online portfolio. There are 3 different concurrent threads, means 3 different concurrent activities. It means if the order is executed successfully, then these 3 concurrent activities will be performed or will be executed. After all of these 3 activities are finished, then it go to the merging bar. It means the heavy bar is merging. Only after all of them are executed successfully, it will go to the close order. And in the diamond, if the after execute order, if it fails, it will then go to the send failure notice. Notice means the diamond is a branch. And okay, this is a very easy activity diagram. It shows the stock trade processing. And in activity diagrams, the activities of activity diagram are usually activities from the state model. It means we usually abstract state activities from state model. And some activities run forever until an outside event interrupts them. For example, when we are starting the state model for the for example for the activity for the alarm, and for the alarm when it is in the ring in the alarming state only when the time only when after a specific time interval all the button is pressed by someone. It means it gets 2 different events. Then the activity ringing activity will not be interrupted. Will run forever until the 2 different events, that is time passed or time interval passed, or someone pressed the button. And but for most of them can terminate by themselves. For example, in the example for the phone line, it means that for example in the when the in the for the activity in the recording playing in the activity playing recorded message, it will terminate itself after it has finished the playing of the recorded message. And the completion of an activity is a completion event, and usually indicates that the next activity can be started. It means usually the first activity finished, and then the next one connected by an arrow will start it automatically, and an unlabeled arrow from one entity to another indicates that the first activity must complete before the second activity can begin. And also the first one finished will automatically trigger the starting of the next activity. And an activity may be decomposed into finer activities. For example, for the left one, the left is an activity diagram for the execute order here. Execute order. It means this one can be decomposed into more small scale activities. This is the solid circle is the beginning activity. Then it will go to a branch, check the order type, and if it is a market order, it will go check the type. It is selling, then find buyer at market price, and it is a buying, it will find seller at market price. Then finish. This is the end activity, for an activity, 5 an activity, and if it is limit order, it will go to this branch. And activities at the same diagram should be at the same level of detail. For example, for the execute order and settle trade are similar. Execute order and settle trade, they are similar. But if one of these activities are replaced in the activity diagram by its more detailed steps, I mean, for example, if you replace the execute order using this diagram, then you should also replace the other activities using detailed steps. Alternatively, balance can be preserved by elaborating the activity in separate diagram. It means that, for example, for the execute order, we can use this separate diagram to explain it in detail. In this kind of method, we needn't to build another activity diagram for the settle trade, but you can also build. It will depends on the necessary. But if you replace it using more detailed activities, then you should also replace here, because they are at comparable levels. And if there is more than one successor to an activity, each arrow may be labeled with a condition in square bracket. For example, failure and so on. For example, here, this is called the branch. A daemon is used for representing branch, and each branch, each output is labeled by a bracket with conditions, bracket conditions, and for these two conditions, usually we need one condition is satisfied, the corresponding activity will execute. It means that if this satisfied, it will go to here. If this satisfied, go here. And if no condition is satisfied, the system is badly formatted and the system will hang. So you need to check, is there any problem? And as a notation convenience, a diamond shows a branch into multiple success. And if multiple conditions are satisfied, only one successor activity executes, but there's no guarantee which one it will be. Usually, it indicates that there is some error. It means that usually only if two conditions satisfy simultaneously, maybe you should consider maybe there is some problem or designing problem here. Usually we only at the same time only one condition satisfied. And if there's no one condition satisfied, there's problem with the system too. Initiation and termination. A solid circle with an outgoing arrow shows the starting point. Means the initiation, and bullseye shows the termination point. Bullseye, the start, solid circle start, bullseye. There may be one start and multiple end. And concurrent activities. Organizations on the computer system can perform more than one activity at a time. It means that usually, because for For the system software, we want to build the especially for the computer system. Sometimes it is distributed system. For the distributed system, they can perform different activities concurrently. So when we are building the activity diagrams, we should consider the concurrency among different activities. It means that one activity may be followed by several concurrent activities, and these activities may merge into a single activity. A fork or merge is shown by a heavy line with more than one input errors or more than one output errors. This is a split, this is a merge, this means concurrent activities. And synchronization control must be present on all of the incoming activity and control passes to all of the outgoing activities. It means that when there are concurrent activities, and before the incoming of the after the control flow past the heavy line of the fork, it means that the control is passed to all concurrent activities, and all of these concurrent activities are executed simultaneously, and then only when all of these concurrent